Hello.
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 This is another movie lingo discussion, and I'm Eddie Lingo.
Oh, Snap Cupcake.
I'm Cody.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Nate.
And today we're going to talk about Jurassic World. Nate, could you please give us a summary of Jurassic World?
I would love to. Jurassic World is I guess, would you call that a sequel or a reboot?
It's like reboots. It's a reboot.
It's a reboot sequel.
It is supposed to be a
the
sequel.
Original Jurassic Park trilogy.
C-boot.
It's several years into the future now. The whole Jurassic, copyright is under new ownership. John Hammond has passed away, and there is a new park. Instead of like the previous films showing the film before the park is now open, and it has many attractions, is attracting many guests. And in order to bring in more revenue, they have decided to create their own dinosaur species. And upon doing so, some unforeseen consequences arise, and they have to try to deal with them in a manner that causes the least amount of casualties.
They didn't do a very good job of that.
So the events, that's what the hybrid dinosaur, they splice together a lot of different...
The Indominus Rex is what it is called. There's one right there on the shelf. I don't know if that's in the shot. It's a Lego one,
Oh,
though.
the
Pale as fuck,
Jurassic
dude.
Look at that.
Like a ghost.
Lego owes us for that one. So...
Pay up for that free advertising.
We'll expect cash or credit. We also take bitcoins.
So, Jurassic World. I'm going to start with you, Snap a Cupcake. Actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to reserve your answer.
All right.
Because you have a special answer. So I apologize for that. So we're going to go the other way.
What the hell?
Please tell me what you thought.
Bizarro
Just tell me what you thought about the movie before we dive into the everything about it. Just tell me what you thought of the movie.
I really like this movie a lot. I may be biased though, because I really like all three of the films previously. So I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. So this film rubbed me the right way.
It rubbed you the right way.
Yeah,
Awesome.
baby.
Put it that way. Yeah.
How about you, Alyssa?
You know.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I had just recently seen all three of them, so I think that because I had just seen all three, it made it even better. And I liked it. And
Yeah.
I liked Chris Pratt and the dinosaurs. I think dinosaur movies are really awesome.
Dinosaur movies in general.
All
That's-
Yeah.
four of them.
What?
Just as long as it's dinosaurs, you're good with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like dinosaurs.
All right. Cool. How about you, Mr. Flutie?
If you'll remember, a while ago, before we said we were going to film this, I told you I had some interesting tidbits of information about my Jurassic Park experience. First of all, I saw all of them out of order. I never saw one for the longest time. I went 3, 2, 1. Like, that's how I watched them.
That makes sense.
And 3, surprisingly, was my favorite out of all of them. That's not a general opinion or among a lot of Jurassic Park fans, but I loved the third one simply because, first of all, like pterodons, like the flying dinosaurs, I love them. I think they're awesome. And they finally showed them in 3, so I
They're
finally...
dinosaurs.
Flying lizards.
Birds.
Then dinosaurs aren't dinosaurs, they're just walking lizards.
No, there's specific classifications.
No, there's not.
Besides the
You're
birds.
wrong.
We're just totally changing it to a different show.
Okay, but anyway, I really liked Jurassic World. I thought it was a great movie. Chris Pratt did a really good job. What's the redhead's name?
Jessica Chastain.
She's a fox.
It's not
Extremely
Jessica
beautiful
Chastain.
is what I
She's a-
call it.
It's
She's
not
a fox.
Jessica Chastain.
Why did you say that?
Because I thought it was.
But you just...
Did you
But
just
it's-
realize it's not?
No,
Misinformation.
I said during the movie.
Fired.
I said during the movie.
So who is it?
We will
I
find
don't
out.
know. Oh my god.
We'll
Kendall
find out.
said her name, but
Kendall
I
knows
can't.
it?
Kendall knows.
Kendall's not here.
Hot
Yeah.
bitch.
But I liked it. It was really
She's
good.
extremely hot.
There we go.
And
She
sweaty.
looks just like Jessica Chastain though. They look exactly the same.
She's gonna be mad at you about that one. All right, so
They're both beautiful women.
so
Wait, then why when I said the woman, was that the first name you came up with if you knew that wasn't her name?
Because I'm like, it's funny that the entire time this movie was coming out, and I was like, oh, Jessica Chastain, Jessica Chastain.
She has a nice name, dude. I'd
And
say
it's not
that
Jessica
shit too.
You would
Chastain
say it
at
too?
all.
Fuck it, why not? I'll be Jessica.
Sounds like a
Chastain,
name I would
whatever her
say.
fucking
Actually,
name is.
Kendall said that she was in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, she was Gwen Stacy in the Sam Raimi movies.
Oh yeah, she died.
Then
Captain
they-
Spoiler alert.
Gwen Stacy when she was in.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
since
she
I've
played
seen
she
those.
played Gwen Stacy as she was like falling from the building in Spider-Man 3.
Oh, I
the
actually
debris.
never saw Spider-Man 3 in full.
Well, you know what?
Wow.
I think
you're
our
such a
friendship was
fan.
just crippled a little bit.
Wow.
This
Wow.
got off track.
This got way off track.
So, Benny, what did you?
Well,
segue.
I haven't seen the film. I honestly don't want to see the film.
Oh, that's right.
Mainly because they should have stopped after the first one. The first one was fucking gold. I saw it when I was probably, 8 or 9 years old.
Right.
It was great. Like, the first time the fucking T-Rex came out, I shit my pants. I literally fucking cried. That's how good that movie was.
How old were you?
I was probably like 8 or 9.
He just said that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's okay. Yeah, that's all right.
We'll edit that.
The biggest issue, though, is that they waited too long.
Wait, how old were you?
Like 8 or 9. The biggest issue with this movie is they waited way too long to make it. We had to suffer through the second film and the third film. And that's the biggest problem that I have with this. I'd rather watch The Land Before Time than watch this fucking movie.
Whoa!
Land Before
Which
Shout
Time.
out
one?
to Littlefoot.
Which one?
The only one that matters. The first one.
There's
first
like 10 of those.
Shout out to Petrie
There's
and
way
Littlefoot.
more than 10 at this point.
There is.
There's like 36.
As soon as Chomper got in the mix, good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GG,
Chomper.
So
bro.
let me ask this, okay?
What is your opinion?
Chomper.
Me, I did not like the film.
Oh.
I tried to
throwing
like it.
shade at Jurassic World.
I tried to like
Yes.
it, but for me, well, I guess we're gonna go on into it now. I tried to like it, but I feel like it's the fourth film, and we were reintroduced to the park. Now, granted, like you mentioned in the first one, this was before everything happened before the park opened. It was more like, hey, check this out. This is what we're gonna be doing. And then there's disaster. And this one, okay, so the park is already full flown. I think they even said it had been in business for like 10 years, but they need to increase revenue. So they wanted to show us the park and the travel, and I was like, this is the fourth film. Let's get to it. I didn't like that. I felt like it was almost exactly like the first one. I feel like it was more of a reboot than a sequel. The only thing that made it a sequel was the fact that they referenced and showed the original Jeep and the original hall, and then they
made
brought
it chronological.
right, and so, but for me, I felt like it was pretty much the exact same story, so I wasn't really impressed. But the real killer for me was because I tried to still like, I feel like I had great action. It was really cool, and I'm like, if it's a reboot, fine, that's great. But this hybrid ultimate being that they created, I felt like they wrote themselves into a corner where they created something that they couldn't contain. And after showing us how great it is and all these features it has, camouflage, strength, it's breaking the glass that nobody else can break, then once it gets free, none of those skills are used to demolish everybody. Nobody should have survived.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, they used the camouflage in that first scene against all those soldiers.
What did you just say? First scene. How many scenes was this creature in? This thing is designed to hunt, and it's known for sport. And so basically, you don't give us
I'm sorry,
a
Eddie.
feature. You don't give us a skill and then only drop it here and then forget about it. This is part of its DNA. This is part of what it does. So they should have found a way to deal with it constantly.
You don't give a Jedi a lightsaber and then tell him not to use it.
Exactly.
I can see where you're going.
So
at
it
that point.
pissed me off.
Hey, I know
No.
what you wanted. You wanted this.
You wanted
is
a
the
dinosaur
unofficial-
with a lightsaber.
You wanted
That's
Predator,
exactly
bro.
what I wanted.
This is the unofficial Predator movie you wanted.
Right. So I was bothered by that, and so it really rubbed me the wrong way. But I understand. I want to ask a question. How old were you when you saw your first Jurassic film?
Me?
Yeah, when you saw 3. You saw 3 first.
I was like 8 or 9.
How were you when you saw your first Jurassic film?
19, about 3 days ago.
How old were you when you saw?
I guess probably like 6.
You're like 6.
I never watched
And you
it.
saw the first one.
Yes, I saw the first one first. Well, I saw the first one in whole, I saw the first one in its entirety first. I saw bits of the second one before that.
Okay. Which one did you see entirely first?
The Jurassic Park. The
Jurassic Park, the first
yeah.
one, and you saw the third one.
I saw the third one
and
first.
You saw the first one.
Of course, in
Okay.
theaters, bro.
Now, the
You're
way.
so old.
I know, bro.
The
Sorry.
and so for me, because I think you're perfect for this example. At the age that you saw the third one, it was your first experience with it. So I feel like there was no way it could go wrong with you because you had nothing to compare it to. And so it was new, it was exciting, it was cool, and boom, you were young and impressionable, just like when we saw the first one.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're holding on to, and why a lot of people don't like the second or third one, but you did. And then you went back and you already had appreciation, so there's nothing you can do or say to change that. And you watch the other ones, you're like, great. And you go into this one, it's exciting. And I think that has a big fact that's going to weigh in with a lot of people on how this movie is received. So I want to get back to
The old days?
On the photo ring.
I want to get to. Let's start with you, Cody.
Ooh. Start with me.
So, you appreciating the third one,
Yes.
and you thought this one was phenomenal. Hearing my opinion, my thoughts. Once the high comes down from the excitement, are you open to a difference of opinion, or maybe watching it again to?
Oh,
evaluate?
I'm completely open to a difference of opinion, but like, I take your points into account, and that affects you and how you watch the movie.
Right.
It still won't change anything for me.
You just love that shit.
I really liked it. Not only the relationship between Chris Pratt and his Raptors, I thought that was really awesome.
Hated that.
I really liked it. I was really upset, and I'm pretty sure I talked to Nate about this when we were watching the movie. I was really looking forward to a scene where Chris Pratt rode into battle on a Raptor. I was really hoping that would have happened, because that should have happened. Like, you know what I mean?
It would have been pretty over the top, but I think I would have been like, you know what?
You would have
They're
accepted
both
it.
Fuck it,
dinosaurs,
it's
like,
Chris Pratt.
With their bond, yeah, you would have accepted it, right?
But the one of the scenes I really liked was, because like most movies, like we talked about this before, have like a very steady like an algorithm, like the way that they follow.
Right.
In that, like, you think you've got an idea and something goes wrong. And that, I think, happened in that scene where they finally, like, they're like, okay, let's use the Raptors. And they get there in front of the Indominus Rex, and the Indominus Rex starts talking to them. And everyone's like, oh, no.
They realized, like, oh,
And I really liked that scene. I thought that scene was really awesome.
it
And
was cool, too.
I thought it was really intense to see that, like, Chris Pratt, like, was doing everything he could to protect these dinosaurs that was still trying to kill him. And, like, showed that he actually, like, I don't know, I liked the relationship that developed between him and his Raptors. And no matter what you say, you can't change that. Eddie.
No, it's a fair point. And I'm glad that you're sticking to your guns. That's good. No, but I think Chris Pratt was a great choice. I think his character was awesome. I liked everything about Chris Pratt. I liked the action that was in there. I liked everything about the relationship that spawned between him and the woman whose name we still don't know. But we will know before this episode is
The last name is Bryce. But I don't. It's like it's a 3-part name, and I can't.
Jeff
think of
Bryce.
That's 2 parts and a dude.
It's a 3-part name, and I can't think of the 2 parts.
Do you have
Can I do this? Can I do this?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Jeff Goldblum.
So let's just keep going.
So, all right. What were the strongest points of the story to you? What did you like the most about it?
What did I like the most? The action I liked the most, definitely. I think they had a good amount of practical effects and CGI, and they mixed them together in such a way that made everything look. All the action scenes just looked phenomenal to me. There was a scene where a bunch of pterodons broke loose from an aviary and just started wreaking havoc upon the park goers, and it looked so good. All these people being picked up and dropped from 100 feet in the air.
It was pretty awesome.
And like
cool.
people being speared by the beaks. It was such
And
a good.
the one
scene
got
for me.
dropped into the mosasaur tank.
Yeah, also that.
Or the,
there was
whatever
the
she
assistant.
There was
Yeah,
a
the
very
assistant.
minor character who got one of the most gruesome deaths I've ever seen. She was repeatedly
so
drowned by
entertaining.
one of the pterodons, and then before like it was about to just finish her off, the water that she was being drowned in was the holding area for the mosasaur. So this humongous like water beast just like erupted from under the water and swallowed her whole and ate the pterodon that was trying to kill her.
Awesome.
So like
That was awesome.
unnecessarily gruesome and awesome. I liked the relationship with the Raptors. I think that opened up a new avenue for them because they're not just they want to kill everyone all the time. It shows how smart they truly are and the fact that like they can take orders, and it helps explain, or not explain, but display their pack hunting abilities, all that good stuff. One thing I didn't like though, is disagreeing with Cody, is the scene where the Indominus Rex starts talking to the Raptors. It kind of contradicts something that they spoke about earlier in the film, and the fact that Chris Pratt was like, "Oh, you raised this Indominus Rex in captivity. He's gonna be socially dysfunctional. He's not gonna know anything but these concrete walls and these slabs of meat that you're giving him to eat." And then suddenly he's fluent in Raptor.
He said suddenly he's flew the raptor. Interesting point. Do you have rebuttal for that?
I mean, he knows way more about dinosaurs than I do, so if I say anything, he's gonna shoot it down.
Isn't he part raptor?
Yeah,
He is
he's
part
part
raptor.
raptor, so
So
it's
isn't him being
inherent.
social in raptor?
Social
like,
skills and learning to communicate is something. Well, I mean, this. I'm not a psychologist.
But that's an
But this
interesting
is something
point.
debated if it's learned or if it's inherently ingrained.
Very true.
And it's hard to study because you have to deprive intelligent creatures of their social interaction upon growing up, and it really wrecks them for their life.
This is why I just
Which is
kidnap
kind of
people's
what
kids and lock them in my basement.
So it basically just automatically seeing them just knew it was the alpha and just.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they understood what was going. The Raptors understood what was going on, so they're like, well, who do we want to follow? This humongous raptor or this like little like monkey dude? I don't know.
Yeah, he was nice.
He was nice, but I mean, he wasn't strong.
He let us chase a pig.
That's true. All right. So,
Oh, the pig.
Alyssa, please
Oh yeah,
share.
that pig got the shit.
I don't like the scenes where they had like, even in the old movies when they had the animals that were just like waiting there to be eaten. That was the worst because I was just like, what are you
This is the
gonna
best.
No, it was the worst. I hated that.
What did you like? What are key moments you liked?
I liked the part where they were in the circle thingy and Jimmy Fallon came onto the screen.
The gyrosphere.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when they were rolling through the park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked Jimmy Fallon being a part of that.
Ca-
I didn't get the point of it.
No, I didn't get the point of why. Yes, you have these genetically engineered dinosaurs. Why is the gyrosphere not on a track?
Yeah.
Why are
What
they
was
allowed
up
to
with
just
that?
drive it wherever they please?
Yeah, so you guys are dipping into my list of why I didn't like it, but
Yeah,
please
I
keep
feel
going.
like if they ran
they
that
were
thing
like,
into
oh,
the
let's just go
dinosaurs, it wouldn't
off-road.
hurt them because they were very large, especially like even bigger than the sphere.
But I'm not talking more for the harm of the dinosaurs, but like
control the safety of the public and
Yeah.
just to control the outcome. It should have been more on a guided track instead of them free roaming.
I get what you're saying.
because if it was on a guided track, the plot of the movie wouldn't have existed
Well,
because
in
Because he
defense-
had-
kids
he
wouldn't
controlled it
the,
to
the
go.
kids wouldn't have gotten loose.
in defense of the
Could've
free roaming
been creative.
gyrosphere,
Uh-huh.
I feel like they said it was bulletproof glass. The only thing that was able to break it was the Indominus Rex, like repeatedly, like chomping as hard as it could and smashing it into the ground.
Right.
It took at least like a minute for it to break that thing.
Right.
And but the other dinosaurs, they're all herbivores that they were riding around with. They were all very timid dinosaurs that wouldn't. Maybe a few of them would attack it once or twice, but once they realized it wasn't doing harm to them and they weren't really scratching it, they'd lose interest.
Right.
And in a stampede, they just kick it around, and it's on a gyrosphere, so it'd be okay.
But in a situation where it's an emergency, please come back.
That
Why
We
wouldn't
can't
they
control
take away
it.
the
They should have
control
had
and
some
like?
kind
Yeah.
of
So
like,
here's something that they
Manual
could have thought
override.
about in
Yeah.
just 5 minutes, and just you talking now, they could have tossed the idea. Okay, so how about if it is on a track, they're safe, they're with the dinosaurs, but what is the name of the hybrid? What's it called?
Indominus Rex.
Comes out, scares the hell out of a bunch of other dinosaurs. They stampede. They run over track. They damage track. All of a sudden, it rolls off track, and then they're in this atmosphere. That makes more
better
sense,
plot.
and it still can work with the same plot. See,
That's true.
so that's why, as a writer, I get upset when I see when they're so focused on these key moments that they write stupid ways for it to just happen.
Yeah,
I
guess
hated the kids, by the way.
I guess they just wanted
Yeah.
the Indominus Rex to show up behind and be like, oh, there's 4 dinosaurs. No, there's 3.
That was it
Ooh,
was a
the
cool
one behind
moment.
us. is like-
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Yeah, I liked that part.
But I did. There is one thing I did dislike about this movie. I hated the kids.
Yeah.
Isn't it always the case?
They're
What's
pretty
with the kids in
insufferable.
these
No,
movies?
I mean
though?
Jurassic
Okay.
Park,
Well, not,
the first
not
one.
Jurassic Park. I mean, movies nowadays, the teens and the kids are always they're either irritating
See, but
or
here's the
frustrating.
thing. Why is it that we didn't just have, like, instead of those 2 boys, we have like Alexandra Daddario from San Andreas as one of the kids,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
and
Make sure she
Emily
got, like,
Ratajkowski.
wet,
Yeah.
Why don't we
Yeah.
just have like a bunch
Tattered.
of big busty women
right.
get together in bikinis and fight the dinosaurs?
That movie already came out, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch it later.
I wanted the kids from the first movies to be back in this one.
they'd be a lot older.
Yeah, well, they could have been like part of the.
I don't think
Yeah,
you can
but
get
you think
them
after
to come back.
you think after the trauma that they went through,
Yeah,
they
I-
want to go to another Jurassic
like she
Park?
would never eat Jello again.
No, not that they would go to the park, but they could be like a part of the like.
I
the
think there's
creation
no
of
way
the
you can get
world.
them to come back.
I
They
think
were
I
too
would come back,
traumatized.
yeah.
It's
but-
kind of like if you were in like basically like a tsunami.
So Cody, what exactly were key moments that you liked and didn't like in Jurassic World?
Well, I liked Chris Pratt's character. Like I said, I liked the relationship between him and the Raptors. It just seems like Chris Pratt put in any role he can't do. He can't do it wrong.
He's gonna be the new franchise saver.
He is, and he does a good job of it. I'm not even gonna lie. I was actually having a discussion with my mother about this, about in the car on the way, like we were going to the store or something, and I was talking about how I saw Jurassic World, and she was like, Chris Pratt seems like one of those people who's just, he's gonna get oversaturated, and they're gonna keep doing things, and he's just gonna. And I was like, I don't think so. I think everything he produces, people are gonna like.
I agree. I don't think he's gonna be too
So
much.
I liked the movie. There was some plot holes, like we talked about with the gyrosphere. Why would you let those kids out? And like I said, I did not like those kids. I wish there were better kid actors in this world, because I didn't really like that. It's the same thing every time. It's a brooding teenager who's on his phone all the time, and the younger kid who knows way more about the dinosaurs than they
Knows
should.
way more about everything.
But I will
Younger
say,
was me when I was younger.
but I will say that I did like the scene where that one kid, when they were running through the lobby, and to get the raptor off his tail, he started the hologram.
Yeah,
and
that
the
was awesome.
That was really cool.
Genius.
That was actually pretty smart on his account, and I wouldn't have done that as a child. I
It
would
was a
have.
cool way to bring back the Dilophosaurus. too.
Yeah.
You really do like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's awesome though.
So I liked a lot of the like the different features in the movie. I liked the ending scene. The ending fight scene was just so spectacularly kick-ass.
I was actually pleased with that. Yeah.
And he actually said it out loud before I noticed it, because when they were backing the Indominus Rex up, I didn't notice where they were placed.
Right.
And Nate was just like, "Oh my God, they're next to the Mosasaur," and I was like, "You're fuck!" And then it just came out of the water, and I was like, "That was cool."
Yeah.
I know.
You have to chime in. I have to chime in. I didn't notice it, so I was pleasantly surprised because the whole time I was like getting angry, like there's no way the T-Rex should win this fight because it's just
It was
a predator.
The T-Rex also, by the way, just to veer up, the T-Rex was the one from the first movie apparently. I didn't know this.
Yeah, that was.
So it was old as shit and like still
That was
fighting.
the
Like,
same-
Yeah,
Still
it was the OG.
That's the same
How
one.
but how did you find that out? Like where? Was
I went on the Jurassic Park subreddit and looked at some of the discussions going on there, and people were like, "Yeah, that's the old female T-Rex from the first movie."
Yeah, that's why it was like open this section, and he was like, "No, not that section."
Oh, okay,
Because it was still
Oh.
the T-Rex that
It was the one who
gave
had a
them all-
taste for human flesh.
Right, that gave
Yeah.
them all hell in
and
the first one.
and another thing that I'll say, and we can move on after this, that I really liked was finally seeing like the pterodons and like the different like flying lizards, if you will. I loved seeing them just kick the shit out of people. Like that was funny.
That was phenomenal.
That was awesome. And like
The
that
dude getting his margaritas, he's like, "I'm fucking pissed."
Yeah.
See, he made sure he didn't drop those drinks. He
Yeah.
took off running.
Dude, he's at Jurassic World. You know those margaritas probably cost $13 each.
Yeah, and then
There
they
was
couldn't even give him
There's
a
Starbucks.
probably
Couldn't even
there's
give him a real
dino
glass.
pee in those.
probably so. Yeah. So what scenes did you? Oh, you didn't see it. Okay, so we can't go
Bye.
there.
That was quick.
I think I do recommend you.
This
should,
has been a movie lingo discussion.
that's right.
Yeah, I think you should see it.
I do recommend you should still watch it. I
right.
mean,
I would
me-
let the craziness die down because many of us may or may not work at a movie theater, and I know it's been super busy. But let the craziness die down.
right.
I didn't say
yeah.
what.
You didn't say anything. You're good.
Let the craziness die down, but I would definitely go see it.
All right.
Yeah, go see it.
I'll
Yeah.
probably wait for it to come to DVD and then I'll probably watch it. To be honest, I'm just that kind
It's
of.
like a
piece of
year and a
shit.
half away, dude.
I know,
Well, I mean, they may fast track it, make their money.
but there's always Land Before Time.
So that's what you're gonna watch tonight.
That's right. Shout out to my Petrie.
Yeah, I prefer Dinotopia actually. It's different.
I'll give you
as
that.
far as
Okay,
different dinosaur
Dinotopia
movies
is
go.
pretty good.
Yeah.
What about the one oh fucking We're Back, where they go to the city of the cartoon? Remember that?
I love
Oh,
that
Yeah.
one.
Watch
Yes.
that
I
shit.
don't know
what's
this. Why don't I
happening.
know this?
It's a
You know
cartoon.
this, bro.
Do I?
It's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cartoon, and there's these dinosaurs who are in this like dark magic carnival. Mm-hmm. But there's some spell cast on them where they become like very like bubbly and cartoonish, like almost like Barney.
Yeah.
And they're like going around the city. People think they're part of their balloons from a parade, and they
Pretty
befriend
awesome.
2 children.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
love
dude.
that's like
I'm
one of
not
my
used to
favorites.
not
That sounds
being aware.
stupid.
It's,
Oh, it's
the
so
plot for
good.
the Lost World. To be honest, it's the same fucking plot.
It's so good.
T-Rex in San
Except he
Diego.
doesn't eat a dog.
Well,
Yeah.
he might. You never know. That could be the unrated version.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look into this. I'm
It's
bothered that I don't
It's a kids
know.
movie.
It was
But
one
I'm
of my
bothered that I
favorite
don't
movies when
know.
I was a kid.
I you know, I pride myself.
Pretty
on
sure
knowing.
Barney is the original dinosaur OG.
Land Before Time's dark as shit though. Seriously.
Baby Bop and BJ? Oh no,
Land
his
Before
name
Time
is
was just
BJ. I
Bambi with
just
dinosaurs.
you just
Bro,
did
it's
that.
dark as shit,
You
bro.
just did that.
What's up?
oh.
He just said BJ.
BJ.
I can't believe I didn't catch that.
You
until
said
now.
BJ?
One of the dinosaurs from Barney's name was BJ.
That's fucking disgusting. There's little kids around, man.
All right,
Hugging
so
this shit.
All the little kids love BJ.
I guess.
All right, let's cut that
let's
conversation where it is.
moving forward. So I know that everybody's gonna take. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that doesn't bother a lot of people because you get caught up in the excitement. And
Yeah.
I do want to say, I want to stress again. There's a lot to love about this movie, but me as a writer, you know, I was just constantly being bothered by stuff, and so I could not give it. I couldn't say I liked it. It was just too much. I didn't want to be like Dave and be like, it's okay, and then be like, trash, 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 trash. You know, so I had to be honest that I didn't like it, but I do recommend that, you know, if anybody's watching this, you should have seen it already, but I found out that we actually have a few followers that watch our discussions and they haven't seen the movie still. So if you're watching, I recommend still go see for yourself, form your own
See it.
opinion. Because there's a lot you could get from it if you don't look at movies the way I do, and then if you do, there may be not enough to bother you. It didn't bother this gentleman, didn't bother these guys, you know. So I think you watch it, but let's.
Even if
And
you
hey,
still don't like it.
if we do have followers out there that are actually like watching our videos that we don't know, like message us. Like, I need friends.
You need friends. I want to know what everybody's thoughts were. So I had a list of stuff I wanted to go down of more things that bother me with the writing, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I've made it's pretty clear that I was bothered by it. I don't need to convince you guys of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go down a list. What I want to do now is actually I want to talk about the comparison of this one to the first one. Did you guys feel that it was almost like a mimic of the story, or did you feel that it was different enough? Because I feel like even though this is a sequel, it really felt more like a reboot to me. And in all honesty, if it was released as strictly a reboot, I probably would have loved it 100%. I mean, I still would have had issue with some of the writing, but I would have been more on going. But for us to, after 3 movies, it's the 4th one, to pretty much get a variation of the same story and the same mistake, that bothered me. So Cupcake, you didn't see the movie, but after hearing my thoughts, in my opinion, it's pretty much the same. You heard the conversation. Does that bother you that it's, or do you even feel like it resembles the first one?
From what I've seen, which is primarily the trailers, I mean, it seems like it's a reboot, essentially. I mean, the park is open. Okay, wonderful. And it's like, this has been done before. Give us something new. You guys are talking about that guy in the fucking tank. What's his proper name? Nate?
Which guy?
The Mosasaur.
The Mosasaur, that motherfucker. That sounds awesome. Everything else is shit. Just because they never touch on that particular species in general, or like just the water fucking dinosaurs.
Very true.
Yeah, I
Which
like
is
that
awesome.
they brought in. Well, he's not a dinosaur either. He's
Whatever,
an
fish.
aquatic lizard.
Fish.
It's just from that era.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So hey, I'm glad you're teaching me because I don't want to walk around.
Yeah,
something.
I like prehistoric stuff, and the fact that they brought aquatic
There's no
life
dinosaurs
into
that
it.
are dinosaurs. They're all just lizards that live in the air, sea, and on land.
Yeah. So it's not. So this movie about non-dinosaurs. Please continue.
I mean, to me, it doesn't interest me. They waited way too long to make it, and the plot seems very similar to the original one. You have the fucking kids back again, starting shit up, hiding in fucking kitchens, which they probably did. But anyways, it just doesn't really interest me.
Jello.
Oh, the Jello, yeah.
Yeah.
She'll never eat Jello again. Poor Bill Cosby.
Cody, since we're here with you, sir, I know you just recently watched the first one, and do you
Again.
feel? Oh yeah, again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because you watched it.
I'm the
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. So the question, again, do you feel? Does it bother you, or do you even see that it's? Do you see it as similar to the first one, or no? Do you think it's its own movie?
I see it similar to the first one, but at the same time, I don't think it could be. I don't think it should be considered a reboot because, well, first of all, I was actually really disappointed. I forgot to mention this. Dr. Alan Grant was like one of my favorite characters, and all of the I loved his attitude and the way he worked, and I really wanted to see him make an appearance in this movie, just even the smallest appearance, like even if they just mentioned his name. Something like that.
I would like that because I don't see him giving it a chance either. But after all he's been through.
But they didn't, and I was disappointed. But I think it works well as a sequel, simply because they made too many mentions of the previous movie for it to not be a sequel. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I cut you off. Can you please finish your thought?
As I was saying, like I can't see this as being classified as a reboot because it nods to the originals too much. I mean, you've got the original scientist is now one of the head scientists of the park. You've got Hammett's name on one of the buildings, and he's mentioned multiple times throughout the movie. So if you're gonna reboot something, it exists on its own. For example, Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield was a reboot of the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Right.
There's no nods to Peter Parker as Tobey Maguire. There's none of that. There's no Doc Ock, any of that stuff. So it's a strict reboot. That's why I don't think I can classify this as a reboot. I think it works just as a sequel. I don't think they should have classified it as a reboot because I liked the nods to the older movies. I felt that tied in some of the nostalgia that you had for watching the first movie. You saw the Doctor and you heard mention of John Hammond and he passed away and you were like, oh, you know. And then him and I were actually talking about this. The new owner of the park, I can't remember his name, but we were
the Indian dude.
Yeah, we were discussing it and we were like, I loved that guy.
Yeah.
Because he was like, this isn't about money. Like he
carried on Hammond's dream.
And Nate actually said it really well when we were watching the movie. That new owner was what John Hammond was supposed to be.
Right.
Until he got corrupt with the making money and making dinosaurs bigger and wanting the profit and that kind of thing. And I really liked that. So no, I don't think that this could be a reboot. I think it did fine as a sequel.
I would have to respond to that. I feel like those little crumbs they threw in is how they got away with considering a sequel. But the story itself, the whole overall premise, I feel like is the first one, and why they should have just not put those moments in there. Gave us a story, and then it would be a reboot. So I know it's not because of the references and because they continue, but what I mean is that it shouldn't have.
The stories were too parallel.
They shouldn't have tried to sprinkle those moments in because it wasn't strong enough to separate the movie. In my opinion, I feel like. Yeah, because you reference stuff from years ago, that automatically makes it a sequel. But when the story plays out, it's pretty much the same as the first one. But I respect the opinion on that because, I mean, that's just how I felt. How about you? Did you feel like it was pretty much the same story? Do you feel like it was more of a reboot, or do you think it's its own movie?
I'll be honest, I was about to say something and I just forgot what I was going to say.
Cool. So Nate, how about you? What did you think?
We'll come back to you. You ready?
No, I forgot it.
Okay, so
right.
Nate.
I do not think it was.
We're looking
a
for
reboot.
sponsors.
I definitely think it was a sequel. I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with your points about it being the same thing as the first one, because
it was a different dinosaur, Eddie. God, weren't you listening?
in the first one, the conflict arises because of not only because corporate espionage, but also because sabotage.
Right.
Everything, all the electronics in the park started failing. Everything like that. The conflict in this one arises not because of corporate sabotage and espionage, but because they create something that they don't understand, and it outsmarts them and gets loose on its own. And at that point, it's not the people versus the dinosaurs like the first one was. It's the people and the dinosaurs versus the Indominus Rex, because he goes around killing everything.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We didn't mention that Newman caused most of the problems in the first movie.
Sabotage.
Yeah. It was so instead of it being
Newman
cause of electronic malfunction pitting people against dinosaurs, it's cause of genetic bastardization pitting a super creature against everything.
Gotcha. That's actually a very good point. I'm gonna have to let that sit with me for a while.
We're gonna have to let that marinate with you.
Also,
You have a wonderful
I did
vocabulary.
like a lot of the nods to the first movie, and there are a lot of really subtle ones that were good. Like, in the scene where the second time that the Indominus Rex uses his camouflage to ambush on all of those park security guys.
Right.
the blood dripping from the tree falls on one of their hands. One drop rolls one way and one drop rolls the other way. That's a nod to the chaos theory scene with Ian Malcolm, where he puts the drops of water on the other doctor's hand. They roll
I
in
hated
different
that
directions.
guy. He annoyed the shit out of me.
Dude, don't diss him. He's a cool guy.
No.
But and also
Hitler.
when the old T-Rex comes smashing through the skeleton to join in the end fight scene, it was a Spinosaurus skeleton.
That was cool.
And that was a nod for everyone who didn't like how the fight scene went in the third film, where the Spinosaurus pretty much instantly breaks the T-Rex's neck, and they kind of squandered all the potential for cool fight scenes, or even a build up towards the last fight scene.
Yeah. All right. That's actually very, very well put. Very well put. We'll have to. Those points that definitely make it a sequel. So I'm gonna have to go ahead. Everybody write this down. Whatever today's date is.
June 14th.
Okay. 2015. That I stand corrected. It does not play like a reboot. But
Ooh, we convinced him.
But I still did not like it for all of my other reasons and the writing points. But I do stand corrected. You're right.
And Lingo says that it's not
There's enough in there for me to take
a
that.
reboot.
I appreciate that. There's enough that you just put you guys combined to make me take it back. You can join in and celebrate if you have something to say. You can actually celebrate with them and say you made me change my mind if you have something to input.
I don't have anything to change your mind, but when he talked about the droplet of blood, did anyone notice that her ringtone on her phone was the beginning of the Jurassic Park song?
Yeah, I heard that.
Did
It
anyone
was
notice that?
it was very
like,
slow.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and
They
it
should have
was-
made.
it
They
was-
should have made her ringtone
This
the
is why
ringtone
we-
from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah,
That old satellite phone ringtone.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of Jurassic Park 3.
That was
that
cool,
was a
yeah.
cool
Yeah.
part.
So
her,
when-
her phone did the. Yeah.
when at that scene where they were
that was my little
You can join the
tidbit.
team. You're good.
Cool. Thanks.
when they were at the fence in Jurassic Park 3 and they finally found Eric and they were like, he was like, I heard you, I found that stupid satellite phone, and he's like, I gave it to I can't remember the mercenary's
guy.
name. Yeah, he was like,
You got-
he had it on the plane before we, and then you just like his eyes widen and then you just hear
Oh, no.
do 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 do, and you just like see the Spinosaurus like creeping around the corner. Oh, that was awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
I want that ringtone.
I'm sure you can find it.
That's probably easy to find.
I'm pretty like set on my Power Rangers wrist communicator
I
ringtone right
apologize.
now.
I might set that as my ringtone.
Maybe if you get another device like a tablet or something, and you can set your emails to it.
If I upgrade to an actual good smartphone like the Samsung 6 Edge instead of a stupid iPhone.
So going back to the movie,
Thank you. Actually,
I just didn't like that they made so many of the same mistakes as they did in the first movie again. Like I just like
That was
how
'cause
many
of the military guy, though.
But like how many times can you like be so like
How many times at
Like-
work do stupid customers ask you the same kind of question
but, like,
over and
you're
over
like,
again?
how can you be so like ignorant? Like you're making a dinosaur that like shouldn't be made. Well, why are you making it? And then you're doing it for the
Technically, all of
money.
them shouldn't be made,
Well, yeah.
going off of some of those guys' opinions.
But for like the big huge one, like why did you even make it in the first place? Like
They
it's-
explained it.
I know why
There's
they
numerous reasons.
I get why they made it, but like
They
I
made
just
it
don't
for more
understand.
money
Like you're
and
making
also the dude's weapons program.
like obviously yeah. Well, it was for the money, which was the exact same
It was
reason.
for the
in
weapons
beginning.
program, actually. But
You're for the money.
they used the money as a cover-up.
Well, it just I just don't. They made the same
that
mistakes
drive
over and over again.
Both goals are definitely important to
And then she
somebody.
didn't care about
So,
the dinosaurs.
how
She
you
called it
doing?
it. Like in the in the thing when he was like showing them the enclosure and like they had like the broken glass and I don't
Cracked
know,
glass.
The cracked glass. I don't know who she was talking to. Was she talking to the
Indian.
that guy?
The owner.
He said she and then when she was talking about it, she said it.
Right.
She didn't want to like notice that it was actually
She
like
didn't want to
It
acknowledge.
was an asset.
yeah.
A number
she
on
said
chart.
it and then he said she.
And that's why they had
And
that
that, like,
stupid
annoyed me.
moment where she's looking for her nephews, but yet they stop for her and Chris Pratt to see the dying dinosaur, and then
I
she
like that
realizes
moment.
it's actually real. You like that moment when she's
Yeah.
looking for her nephews? I would drive right past them. We know there's going to be death and destruction on the way, but I need to go get my
It
nephews.
was a good point that it wasn't eating them.
He
It
could have
was-
said that
it
while
was-
driving.
It was killing for
He could have said he could have drove by and
Yeah,
been
I
like,
guess they did stop. For
he's killing them for
but
sport.
And
Chris-
she like shed a tear for the dinosaurs because now all of a sudden she cares
And
about the dinosaurs.
that's
She
what it
never
was
cared about
for.
the dinosaurs
Chris
in the
Pratt would have
beginning.
stopped.
But the priorities.
them.
But her
Yeah,
her
of course, 'cause
nephews,
Pratt did.
I would not. I just feel like that was ill placed. they could have found another place to place it. These are the writing things that I have issues with, which I'm not going to bore you guys.
Another good throwback with her and Chris Pratt when they teamed up looking for their nephews. She started yelling their names, and he was like, "Don't do that."
Yeah,
that was a good
I like
throwback
that
to the
part.
third one.
Yeah.
I actually wish
Dr.
that,
Grant says you shouldn't do that.
I
Aaron!
actually wish that something would have went wrong right there, so she could realize how right he was.
Yeah.
Just get picked up. He just like uncamouflages behind her and just.
I do love that the entire movie she was in a skirt and heels for the
She
entire
rocked those
thing.
heels. I was really upset.
She rocked that entire
Apparently,
outfit.
the actress did like training to run in heels.
Really? That's
Yeah.
sad.
I can't even lay down in heels.
Yeah.
I can't even fit heels on my fat, pudgy feet. I don't think they make heels in my size. Do you have any idea how
Oh, they
hard it is
do.
to find
Definitely
shoes for
They
me?
do.
Definitely make heels in your size.
If you ever go to Lips down
Oh,
in
yeah,
Fort
for
Lauderdale,
sure.
they'll make
Very
your
true.
size.
So yes, speaking of the love interest, her real name, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Not Jessica Chastity. Or
It came to us in a dream.
Chastain.
Chastain.
Day.
So Bryce is yes, very very attractive. She does very well in the heels. I like that moment where she actually helps Chris Pratt, takes the gun and just goes to town, and then he gets up and there's no words.
What's the dimorphodon in the head?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she butts and then she just plugs away, and his response was golden. I think there's nothing to say. There's no one-liners. There's no cool. You just get up, you pull her in, you kiss her, and then it's just like,
Thanks,
Yeah.
babe.
yeah,
Your boyfriend's a badass.
yeah. She loved that moment too. So
Who
really,
wouldn't love to be grabbed and made out with by Chris Pratt?
I don't know if
I know
would.
I would.
Well, I have to let that sit and think about that
I'll
one.
have to let him sit on my face.
Wow.
Well, you're gonna get casted in the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes! I'm gonna be Rocket Raccoon's pet human
Oh God.
on a leash.
On the leash.
I need that guy's entire body.
So let me ask you guys really quickly. How did you feel about their chemistry and the outcome? Did you feel like it was forced, or did you like it? The relationship between the two. Let's start with our relationship expert, Alyssa. What did you think? Was it the?
Well, I think it was stupid that they made it seem
You are
like
so red.
Keep talking.
Like Scarlet Witch.
You're fine. Come on.
they made it seem like that they had like dated in the past or something. They only went on like one date,
yeah.
and they made it seem like they had like this whole like romance behind them, but they went on like one date. Like they barely even knew each other. But I guess like I didn't mind that they kissed at that point. I thought it was kind of forced,
Oh.
but I knew that they obviously were gonna end up together at the end of the movie because apparently killing dinosaurs just brings people together.
It does. It almost works like
Gets your loins all hot.
like pheromones.
The one thing, the one thing that I want to add to that is I totally agree with that. It doesn't seem like they only did go on one date, but you also have to take into consideration that they've probably both been working for this park for an extended amount of years and working with each other.
Cross paths.
So like they maybe have only gone on one date, but like
they kind of knew
they
each
worked
other.
they worked with each other. So like
Yeah.
you see
do you think
people
Chris
you work
Pratt
with.
ever asked her if like he could have more raptors? Just like, can I have like 10 raptors?
I think he's gonna ask her now.
Probably.
I think he's gonna ask if he can park his raptor inside of her paddock.
So you definitely feel like it was forced because
do
of
it?
the one date.
Yeah.
How about you, Nate? Oh, you have more. I'm sorry. Did you have more of that?
No, but he's saying how like they work together, but like we don't know if they work together.
Well, she mentioned she knew of him. We don't
Yeah, she
know
knew
how
of him,
closely
yeah.
they work together, but we knew that there was some.
Well, he obviously didn't train those raptors in like 3 days. So like he's obviously been part of that
Yeah, you
raptor
could
training.
tell,
No, yeah,
like, there were
not
moments where he was
saying-
like, "I've been training them for so long. Please don't shock them."
And then
Yeah,
and
not
then you
saying that
and then
he-
she's like a head executive. Like they didn't say how long they worked together, but you can kind of infer that both Chris Pratt and Jessica Bryce Chastity Dallas Howard have both been like she's an executive and he's been training these raptors for a long time. So you can infer that they've been a part of Jurassic World for quite some time.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's safe to say that their positions don't have to cross paths, but they both have been working on that park or working in the same vicinity
Yeah, I'd
for
agree
a
with
period
that
of time. And okay, it is safe to say that eventually they got to a point where they can get to one day.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
With our dinosaur experts, Nate, very impressed with your knowledge.
Dr. Nathaniel Grant.
You had a point that you wanted to address as far as the realism.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. And
Such a loser.
for anyone who is a fan of archaeology and all things prehistoric, such as myself, I am prehistoric. If you're displeased with the fact that the dinosaurs lack realism, such as they aren't feathered, or they name something wrong, like the velociraptors aren't really velociraptors, they're Deinonychus.
Wow.
The head scientist, who is a throwback and the actor from the first film, he explains when speaking to I believe he was speaking to the CEO, correct?
Yeah.
He says he has a line where I don't remember the exact line, but he says, "You don't want real dinosaurs, you want more teeth." So he explains that the dinosaurs are all genetically modified with other things to make them look scarier. None of them they don't have feathers, and some of them are the wrong size, and some of them have certain attributes that shouldn't biologically be there for that species. It's because they're using multiple species DNA and mixing it together to create a close but not perfect approximation of what they believed the species to look like.
So I have a question then. Does that technically then make all of them hybrids?
Yes.
Yes. Because like if
All of them in the first film were hybrids. They're all frog hybrids.
because they talk about how they use the DNA of frog to fill in the missing genes.
I got that on the first one, but now are these like, are they a mixture of other dinosaurs like our main predator is?
I mean, they don't really go into it, but
Okay.
it might have been hinted at in that scene that they're modifying them to make them scarier.
To make them scarier. Okay. All right. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I like this knowledge.
Because velociraptors were like 2 feet tall. You could kick them and they'd go flying.
I cannot wait to get Star Wars
Oh, yeah.
because
Well, that's
with
gonna
the
be.
extended universe of that information.
You're gonna have a lot of stuff.
I literally
We're not
talked.
blind.
I literally talked one day at work with Nate about like the history of the lightsaber for like a good 45 minutes to an hour.
Wasn't it a dildo originally?
No.
Oh,
I thought it was too. That's why I bought one.
Watch me. Like, yeah.
Oh, I
We're
can't
gonna go
continue.
from 28 followers to none.
Or we're gonna gain a huge BDSM audience.
As long as they're watching the videos, it's all good.
The safe word is movie lingo.
All right, cool.
Cutalingo.
So I didn't know that.
hit my knee
but
when
I'm
I
glad
stood
that they I'm glad that they addressed it in the film because it probably would have pissed a lot of people off.
It
if-
did piss a lot of people off with the old films. They're like, what the hell?
They noticed the difference. and they were
dinosaurs
like,
have
"It's not
feathers."
accurate."
Like Spinosaurus, he probably wasn't like one of the I'm big macho, I'm gonna fight everything dinosaurs. He fished. He ate fish, avoided conflict, and stayed around rivers.
Dude, I feel like you totally would survive in that time.
Maybe.
I feel like
I think it's very.
I would have been that kid. I would have been Eric, hiding in the bunker, eating chocolate and beans.
And then just bombarding with gas bombs.
There's compies coming.
Dude, you would have been Chris Pratt just talking to fucking animals. What's going on, bud? Come and talk to me.
Blue.
What is
How's
that?
your day going?
Blue. Blue.
that's awesome.
Who's a good boy?
So we've praised this movie. We've shot this movie down. We've talked it into the ground. So now it's time for our rating. So we're everybody here is on a 10 scale, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So
Bear scale, but you
unfortunately,
haven't seen it.
Yeah, the bear scale.
No
We
bear
haven't
scale
seen
today.
it, so
There's no Bears
I
present.
can't be biased, but
That's fair.
I'll watch it when it comes
Bears
out.
There's no bears that far back in time.
How do you know?
Because
How the fuck do you know?
Oh,
Mia
God.
seen
How do
these.
you
He's
know,
the
bro?
bear expert. You
He is
don't want to
the-
piss him off. He's sensitive about very
Goddamn.
sensitive about the realism.
Jurassic Grr. Do this, bro.
Jurassic Grr.
We should make this. There's another Kickstarter campaign right there. We should make this movie.
Look at all
Jurassic
bears
World.
and shit.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
bears.
Like glue little like spikes to their head.
Fighting
Yeah,
over
bro.
fish. This is where we can get more of the. Oh, they weren't dinosaurs. They're aquatic.
Aquatic reptiles.
Yeah, aquatic reptiles. There we go.
Put a bear in a fucking boat, right?
You will
why
put.
not?
I believe you'll put a bear anywhere.
I will, dude.
Sequel to Snakes on a Plane, Bears on a Boat.
Bears on a fucking boat, bro.
This is genius.
what
This is
I'm
a
saying,
movie lingo
dude.
copyright.
This needs to be a pretty
on a
big boat.
Well, you
You can't just have a bunch of regular bears on like a two-person boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh, awesome.
They're just standing in it as it's sinking. Oh.
That's the movie. That's it. It starts, the water's rushing in, and you just wait for it to end, and the credits roll.
It's like Titanic of fucking
It's a
bears,
30-minute movie.
That's awesome.
We should get to these ratings.
It was
What-
clearly enough room for
You
both
would
of
be
them.
able to give a summary on that one, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I'll give a summary.
All right, so your rating, please, sir, Cody.
Well, after much deliberation, I will have to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
I loved Chris Pratt. I liked Bryce Dallas Howard. She's purty, but I also did like her stern character. Like I don't mean to be like that guy who's always like, oh, I liked her because she's attractive. Like I liked Bryce Dallas Howard because she's attractive, but also because like she did like evolve on the way, and like she cared. She went from not caring about these kids to like actually giving a shit. Like, and she was so upset when she left them behind. Like,
Took like 3 near-death experiences.
well,
but-
you know,
Some people.
I'm adopted. That's what it takes sometimes.
Sometimes.
Ooh.
But like,
Low blow.
I didn't like the kids that they chose to play those kids, and that's one thing
That's why
that
you
brought the
drop
movie
it to a
down.
9?
Yeah, drop it to a 9. But overall, I thought it was a very good movie. Yeah, I think solid 9 out of 10.
9,
for
9
me.
out of 10. 9 out of 10. And your rating out of 10, Scott?
I give it a 9 out of 10 also.
9 out of 10?
Yeah.
Copycat.
I said I had already chosen it in my head before you said it.
How do you know that I hadn't already chosen 9 in my head before you chose a 9 in your head?
Because I can read
I
it.
guys
woke
cho-
up this
you
morning.
chose 9 at the same time. All right.
I woke up this morning
Yeah, I
saying
thought
9 out of
Give it
10.
a
Woke
10
up.
out of 9.
You woke up
Okay.
saying 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's it. It was like,
Nine-
as soon as
9
I
out
woke
of
up,
10.
He was like,
Nine.
9. So, would you like to elaborate on what gave it a 9, or why it's not a 10?
Why it's not a 10? Because I don't know if any movie will ever get a 10.
No.
Besides One Direction, This Is Us.
Can we kick her off the panel?
All right, One Direction. This is us. 10 out of 10. Okay.
No, I liked
Sorry.
Chris Pratt's character. I liked that he was like an animal lover and that he was all about saving the animals, and he had his little pack of cuties.
Did he really love animals the way he let that pig get slaughtered?
Pigs aren't animals, they're just delicious. True.
That's how I feel about dogs.
Incoming hate mail from PETA. Incoming hate mail from PETA.
I think that
We have a movie lingo breaking news update. We're being shut down by
I think
PETA.
that he can still love animals even though he like
No, I
Some,
get it.
some
Yeah.
animals gotta eat other
Yeah,
animals.
I get it. He understands the chain.
When other animals need to be.
Yeah, there's a
fed
lot of
to
animal
another.
lovers that still go eat a burger and you know,
Yeah.
bacon.
I love animals. They're delicious.
So I think he like but so and I liked his character. I didn't like the kids, but I wouldn't. That's not like why it would be a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. I
Of
just
course not. You wouldn't want to have the same answer as Mr.
Yeah, of course not.
No.
I don't know,
But I
Pretty
liked.
similar so far.
That's what I liked.
That's what you like. All right, cool. So, Nate, please, your
right.
rating out of a 10.
10 out of 10.
Oh, first movie lingo 10.
This is something I'll be buying. It had dinosaurs, obviously, sits big with me. It had a good amount of nostalgia for the past movies and new things to give it an air of freshness. The scene where they went to the old compound,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. The old visitor center.
The fact that two kids could get a Jeep up and running.
Well, I mean, it's like, oh, we know how to fix Jeeps. Let's do this again. Chris Pratt's character, I didn't see Star-Lord. I didn't see him in Parks and Rec. I saw him as the raptor training
Yeah,
badass
he-
that he was.
He
True.
played the part.
It was there was
that
good
was very
acting
true.
besides the kids, but kid actors. I 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
Now bring it down, Eddie.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Heart.
Thank you.
You guys did convince me that it did not play so much as a reboot, but that wasn't my biggest issue. There was a lot of writing issues. I felt like they wrote themselves into a certain atmosphere that they couldn't control, and they had to dumb it down. After they made this great Predator, they had to use less of the skills, or have it move slower than it did earlier in the film, so everybody can have a chance to get away, and just make all these silly moments. And I feel like they just should have tried harder to, even it would have been almost impossible, but it would have been more exciting also if they used the full potential of the creature they created, and have everybody find a way to survive. And then there was the consistency with the character development and when things should be in place. Not so as a writer, for me, it's still going to get 5 out of 10. So
We're getting overall. We have a movie lingo review score of 8.3 out of 10 for Jurassic World.
So you
Not
should
bad.
definitely, if you're watching this and you haven't seen it, which I still don't get, but thank you for watching, then you definitely should go see it, because that is actually a higher rating than IMDb has it right now. It's at 7.3 average out of 26,000 votes.
Wow.
So
One day we'll get there.
so then definitely go watch it. I think that I expect it to be alone in this, and that's fine with me. I like the fact that you guys stuck to your guns. I like the fact that you guys swayed my thinking.
I was definitely biased from the start.
Well, you know, it's happened. Now, if there's a Predator movie, roles will probably be reversed. You probably see everything wrong with it, and I'm blinded by the fact that I just
like
love
Predator a
Predators
lot, too.
And I'll just be like, no, it was awesome. He was like, Eddie, the Predator was a white dude. And I was like, it was
killing things with
it was still
dildos.
awesome.
Predator was literally just Michael Jackson.
Turns out he's not dead.
So for me, I would probably still love it. I'd be like, no, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So I get it. Yeah, I mean that's why we got a mixture on the panel. We're gonna have people. There are gonna be some titles that we're all really attached to, and there are gonna be some titles that could care less, and that's why we got the mixture. I think we got a good panel.
Can't wait for the merchandising for this movie.
Awesome. So, thank you guys for joining us for a movie lingo discussion. This Jurassic World conversation. I'm Eddie Lingo,
Host Not the Cupcake.
I'm Cody.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Nate.
and I totally forgot to snap, but it's okay. Also, want to get you guys to follow us on Instagram at Movie Lingo, Twitter at Movie Lingo 1, or you can see us on YouTube /Movie Lingo, or go to our website, movielingo.net, and definitely watch our videos. You can watch them on movielingo.net or on even on our Facebook page /Movie Lingo. And we're currently filming on location at Past, Present, and Future Comic Book Shop in Davie, Florida. Woo! Check them out, and maybe you guys can even come out and watch this film one day.
They have merchandise for for
Jurassic World Legos.
Legos.
And Dominus Rex.
Get them here, get them first.
We're out.
All right, guys.